Hello, and welcome to Sparring Sessions. My name's Dax, and we're here today to break down UFC Houston Strickland versus Hernandez. First, though, before we get into the actual card, I'm bringing my co-host, UFC Genie. How are you doing today, Genie?
I'm doing pretty good. Get little shadow boxing.
Ready for some fights? Yeah?
Yeah, I'm ready to go, man. I mean, I'm. It always sucks not having one to watch on the weekend, man. And yeah, just two like quick fucking off week already to start the year. Like, what are we doing? Let's get some fights going. Like, why do we not? Why don't we have an event this weekend?
Well, Dana White needs to take off some time for his seven mistresses. They all need
I
attention for
guess so.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah, he needs to set him
Uh,
right.
exactly. But yeah, so the 21st, Saturday, Strickland versus Hernandez. We talked about it last week. The cards changed a little bit. We're gonna give you some quick predictions here, and then we'll talk about some storylines at the end. First, though, Jeannie, I gotta ask. We're chatting for a little bit beforehand. Weird card, huh? Weird card. I want a rating, but also just what are your thoughts as a whole?
Overall, I mean, they got some good Americans on there for Houston, but I don't know. I feel like it's kind of lacking a little bit. There's a lot of prospects on this card. I think that in itself it could make the card end up like overperforming if these guys have like really good fights. But
Mhm.
I think, I mean, on paper, I'm looking at like a 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay. So you think it could be good? Could be
I
good.
think it could be.
There is Juliana Miller on the card, so that's got to bring it down a little bit, right? Or maybe for you, I know your girl. We'll talk about that fight in a second. Saturday the 21st, Houston, Texas, Toyota Center. Before we get into the actual card, a few storylines that beforehand. Chick Go pulled out. He had a rib injury against Jacoby Smith. We'll talk about Smith's still on the card. We'll talk about his replacement in a second. And Austin Vanderford withdrew bout against Jump Paul Lebosnoyani. Is that it? You're the Canadian here. You gotta give me this
Lebesnoyani, yeah, something like that.
Lebosnoyani. Um, those two, and then I heard some rumors. It wasn't anything serious, but a rumor or two of that they were trying to get Joshua Van on this card for a title defense or something because he's from Houston. Obviously,
Wow.
that would have made it better, but anything that could have been done to make this card really pop, in your opinion?
I mean, other than putting a championship on a fight night, I mean, I think the co-main could have been a bit better. I feel like there's not a lot of name value in like Jeff Neal or Uros Medic,
Hmm.
but it probably will end up being a good scrap between the two of them. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe if you put Melky Costa in the co-main, I'd like it a bit more. But I don't know. Overall, like as a whole, it's just like a bleh card. Just
Yeah,
kind of bleh.
yeah. I mean, you got so many Texas fighters that you could have put on here that just aren't. I mean, where's a Kevin Holland? Where's a um,
Derek Lewis could have been good.
Derek Lewis? Exactly. So many fighters, and neither fighters from. Anyway, we'll talk about the main event, co-main event once we get there. Let's jump right in though. Um, we're going to take this thing in twos, I think. Two's probably the best way. So I'll break down the first two fights and then we'll hear Janie's opinions and then I'll give mine after a little bit quicker of a show. We didn't think this, needed a full hour for y'all. First up, Carly Judice versus Juliana Miller, women's flyweight. Juliana Killer Miller, plus 300 underdog. She is the Ultimate Fighter season 29, no, sorry, season 30 winner, and she is 2-2, sorry, 2-1 in the UFC, 1-2 if you don't count the tough finale. She got her first victory last time out. Carly Judy's crispy minus 400. She's going to be a few years younger, have a few inches of reach, and she is on a two-fight winning streak in the UFC. Most recently, knocking out Nicole Cagliari. Next up, we have. You know what? Let's hear your hear your thoughts on this one. I'm curious because I know you're a big Carly Judice guy, right? That's your girl. That's your girl.
Uh, I mean, I I think I picked her to beat Nicole Cagliari. I'm pretty sure, but I definitely picked Yunzi Dubin in that one.
Yeah,
I was definitely picking Yunzi Dubin, and she obliterated Yunzi Dubin. But you know she's looked pretty good. Her striking is pretty good. She's a good kickboxer. And Juliana Miller, I don't rate her that highly. She's fresh off a win over Ivana Petrovic, which I mean, good honor. But she was on a 2 fight losing streak before that. Veronica Hardy and Luana Santos, my queen. I think Carly Judy's going to be able to box her up on the feet and maybe find a finish in this one, second or third round TKO for Carly Judice.
I agree. Juliana Miller gave Juana Santos, your girl, her only knockout ever. She only had sub finishes before that, subs and decisions, and she gave her first knockout. Carly Judy's here, younger, faster. Juliana Miller is not going to be able to get this to ground. She's not like a Gabriela Fernandez type wrestler. Next up, Editor Del Valle versus Jordan Levitt, featherweight again, men's on this side. The Cuban problem, Yadir Del Valle, is a minus 400 favorite. Minus 400, I'm going to say. After last time, he was a what was it, plus 200, I think? Okay, it closed at plus 125, but when we broke it down against Isaac Bulgarian, he was a plus 200. And if you remember, that was the one where, FBI got involved. There were some serious allegations. I don't think anything's been official yet against Bulgarian for fight fixing. That's not Del Valle's problem. He won the fight, and now he gets Jordan Levitt, who's moving down from lightweight. Going to have 2 inches of reach. Won his last one out against Kurt Hollabaugh in May. So, Jeannie, this one's you again. Go 2-2 here. You think we're going to get another one, and minus 400 is going to turn into plus 150, and Jordan Levitt's going to win in the first round this time?
I mean, listen, Yadir Dvalli was massive compared to Bulgarian, but he's not going to have that. I mean, with like Levitt moving down, he's not really going to have a crazy size advantage, so maybe that plays into it. But no, I think Yadir Dvalli is going to get this one done over Jordan Levitt. It could be a good fight. Jordan Levitt's like a really good grappler, I think, and if he's able to submit him, that's a big win. But I mean, he got submitted pretty early on by Chase Hooper and Paddy Pimblett as well. So I think Yadir Dvalli is going to be able to submit Jordan Levitt. Maybe he hurts him and then submits him after a club and sub scenario. But I'm looking at first or second round submission win for Yadir Dvalli.
Yeah. I agree. I could even see him getting it done on the feet. He doesn't have a lot of experience on the feet in the UFC, but in his Contender Series fight and on some of his Fury FC Combate fights, he's got some good work on the feet and some knockouts. So I wouldn't hate either one here. I think Jordan Levitt is a good fighter despite all his losses, but he's going up against like the same age pretty much, which surprised me. I thought he was older, Levitt, but a good prospect and should be at least a good fight, I think. Jordan Levitt's not in bad fights. Next up, speaking of prospects, Jean-Paul Lebosnoyani, we're going to call him JPL, how about that from now on, versus Phil Rowe, welterweight. JPL is a minus 220. He's going to be 8 years younger than Phil Rowe, and he is coming off a knockout win on the Contender Series over Jack Congdon. On the other side, Phil Rowe is going to be a plus 185 underdog. He's going to have 4 inches of height and 8.5 inches of reach. So big reach advantage here. He's coming off a decision loss to Shep Kyung Ko. What was that? UFC? That was an Apex card. Yeah, Garcia versus Onama in November. This one is me. I really, really, really considered a Phil Rowe pick here. 8.5 inches of reach is huge. He's not a bad welterweight, he's never been like embarrassed really, in my opinion. That being said, he has some sus losses, and JPL is a good enough grappler. I think he's gonna be able to take him down and choke him out pretty quick. You know, he's done that to some guys on the regional scene. What about you? You going with your? Well, is he really your country mate? If he's from Quebec, aren't they trying to secede right now?
They've been, I mean, but we still we still include them.
Yeah,
They'll never get that done, I don't think. This is an interesting one. I mean, it shows on topology that he's United States, Jean
United
Paul.
States. I thought he
Yeah,
was.
from Hermosa Beach, California.
Am I tripping here? I could have sworn he was Canadian. Okay, you give your pick. I'm gonna.
But listen, that reach advantage is actually massive. But I don't know if I trust Phil Rowe to utilize that reach advantage as much as he has it. You know, I don't know if he's known for really keeping people right behind his jabs. I don't know about that. And I think Jean Paul's going to be able to get in on Phil Rowe and make it a grimy fight. And I think Jean Paul's he's getting it done. I think he's going to get it done. I think I'm looking at a second round TKO for Jean Paul Levitsniani. But if Phil Rowe, if he fights behind that jab, keeps him at range, you know, this could be a very tough fight for JPL. But I think when was Phil Rowe really like tried to use all of his reach? Even when he had a reach advantage over Angelusa, he didn't end up he got into a clinch and finished the fight in the clinch against Angelusa against the fence. It
Yeah,
wasn't really him using jabs and and keeping him at
yeah.
range to beat him like that.
He was losing that fight too.
He was. He was. And I think JPL is going to be able to make this a grimy fight. Phil Rowe doesn't really like that at this stage in his career, and I think we're looking at second round TKO for JPL, John Paul Lepusniani.
Hmm. Okay. It does look like he's American. I don't know why. I could have sworn he was Canadian, French Canadian. That does not impact my pick, although maybe it should. Moving on, welterweight, Punahele Soriano versus Ramiz Brahimaj.
There
Um,
you go.
all right, next time Juliana Pena fights, we're gonna do the same thing for you. How about that?
You do
Punahele
already. Come on.
Puna is minus 110. Pick him for these guys. Same age. He's going to have half an inch of reach and an inch of height, so pretty much the same for everything. Puna is coming. He's on a 3-fight winning streak since moving down to welterweight, last over Nikolai Veretennikov. On the other side, Ramiz himself is on a 3-fight winning streak. All underdog victories, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 3 underdog victories there. He beat Austin Vanderford in October. This one's me again. I gotta go Puna here. I think the Ramiz Brahimaj um, uh, resurgence has been kind of smoke and mirrors. You know, Austin Vanderford. I don't really Austin Vanderford and Mickey Gall. I don't rate too high. The Billy Ray Goff is probably the best one in there, but if I remember correctly, he just kind of like um, slipped and like fell into a guillotine. So I gotta go Puna here. The power, probably the size, you know, the muscle, the frame at least, and I think he's got the better camp at Extreme Couture. So yeah, give me 4-fight winning streak for Punahele Soriano. You with me?
Mm,
Tough one for you, is
mm.
it?
It's a
Interesting.
tough one for me, to be honest with you. I might be hopping on the Ramiz train, to be
Wow.
honest. I might be hopping on the train. He's on a 3-fight winning streak, all by finish, man. People forget he beat Vanderford, he beat Billy Ray Goff, he beat Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall's a vet. You know, that's a good
Yeah, all
win. He
right. All
submitted.
right.
What do you? Mickey Gall, he beat CM Punk,
Okay. Yeah, actually, you know what? You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You are right.
right? Yeah. Punahele, he got submitted by Dustin Stoltzfus. I think Ramiz Brahimaj, he's gonna keep this momentum going, and I think he's gonna be able to impose his will on the ground and find a submission over Punahele. If he keeps on the feet, I think Soriano could end up beating him up. But people forget, man, Brahimaj, he's too tough for his own good. We don't see this guy get put out. He had his ear hanging off in one fight.
Oh,
Like this,
yeah.
this dude just takes punishment, and I think, I mean, if he keeps on the feet, Soriano could win a decision. Let's be real, but Brahimaj, I think, is going to impose his will on the ground and find a submission at some point. Second round submission win for Ramiz Brahimaj. 4-fight win streak. Book it.
Interesting. Well, he's not an underdog, so he doesn't have that helping him. Next up, women's bantamweight. Yes, they still have that division around. Jocelyn Edwards versus Nora Cornell. La Pantera Edwards is minus 260. She's going to be 6 years younger at 30. She's going to have an inch of height and 3 inches of reach. She's on a 3-fight win streak, all finishes at women's 135, coming off that brutal KO over Priscilla Cachoeira. Cornell on the other side is the plus 210 underdog. 3-2 in the UFC, coming off a unanimous decision loss to Carol Hosa. Jeannie, this one's back to you. Any interest in this fight? Obviously,
I like
you
this
got to
fight.
pick a winner. But you like this fight?
I
All
like
right,
this
let's hear
fight.
it.
Listen,
Sell
I
me,
like Nora
sell me.
Cornhole. Jocelyn Edwards, she has really came into her own in recent memory. You know, 3 finishes in a row for her. She's looking really good. And Cornhole, she's a good sparring partner in any fight. In any fight, she's never really getting dominated apart from like when has she got submitted? I thought she got submitted recently, but no, she got a submission against Haley Cohen. But even like she's going to decision with Jacqueline Cavalcanti, with Carol Rosa. Those aren't bad losses to me, and I think this is going to be a close fight. I don't see Jocelyn Edwards just running through Nora Cornhole, but I do see Jocelyn Edwards winning this one. And I'm going to say a decision is what it's going to turn out to be. But Jocelyn Edwards is going to get this done, mix it up a bit more, take her down a couple times. And on the feet, I think Jocelyn Edwards is going to have the edge as well. But yeah, I'm looking at Jocelyn Edwards by decision. I think this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, it's interesting. I forgot to mention, this is actually a rematch. Not Carol Hosa. Nora Cornell won the first one at UFC Paris. That was a Gane versus Spivak card. And I do think Jocelyn Edwards has turned around, though. I think the takedown defense has improved a good bit. She hasn't been beating like the best of competition since, but I think she's found some confidence, and she's going to get the victory here. Minus 260, though, bit big for me at women's bantamweight of all things. You know, it's like, sure, knocking out Priscilla Cachoeira, but is that really, you know, are we, is that what we're calling minus 260 territory here? Next up, men's flyweight, Alden Correa versus Luis Correa. Cobra is a minus 270. He's going to be 5 years younger at 27 years old. He is going to be 3 inches taller and have 3 inches of reach. He's coming off a UFC debut where he knocked out Alessandra Costa. On the other side, Garul Grim, plus 210. He is on a 2-fight losing streak, both in the UFC. Ode Osborne, then Jesus Aguilar. These two guys both fought at UFC Sphere for their last fights, so I'm matching them up here. Jeannie, this is you again. Minus 270 for Korea after beating Alessandro Costa. A little large. Are you picking him, or are you picking the upset here?
I think minus 270 in this fight is exactly where I'd put that number, especially after a win over Alessandro Costa. That was a good win. I don't know. Are you disrespecting Alessandro Costa?
It was a weird win. It was a weird win. You know, what was it? 3 days notice, and it was impressive. Don't get me wrong, but you know, weird fight. There was that weird he got injured. Costa got like eye poked right before the finish too, or something. So it'll be interesting to see.
That's fair, but I think I'm still impressed by that win. I think it was like a legit injury. I think it was like a foot injury or something he got.
Was it? Okay.
He couldn't stand up. It was like he couldn't stand up or something. Maybe I'm remembering that wrong. Maybe it's a different one, but I think he got legit injured. And okay. Luis Garula, though, he's on a 2-fight losing streak in the UFC. And he beat Nick Piccinini, you know? He beat Nick Piccinini in a close fight on Contender Series. He did a bit more. The Ode Osborne fight, that's not doing it for me. He got knocked out in that one. Jesus Aguilar, I mean, I think Alden Correa is gonna do his thing against Luis Garul with a 3-inch reach advantage. I was super impressed by his striking in his UFC debut, and yeah, I think Garul is just a punching bag in this slot here. I think Correa is gonna be able to find a first or second round TKO win over Luis Garul.
Yeah, I think so. I think Korea can get the takedowns. Gruel's pretty tough. I know he got knocked out by Ode Osborne, but again, that was on short notice too. Uh, and I think that Korea's going to be able to get a takedown or two. Definitely mix it up better on the feet. Use that jab, use some of those uppercuts if Gruel does try to shoot in, which he attempts it here and there. I think he went 1 for 5. Yeah, 1 for 5 against 0 for 5 against AUR. So I think it's doable, but we gotta go with the young gun here, the talent, the reach. Speaking of which, we got the guy we just mentioned, Ode Osborne fighting Alibi Adiris. Next fight, also at men's 125, the Jamaican sensation Ode Osborne plus 145. He's gonna be 3 years older than Adiris. Inch of height, 5 inches of reach, which is pretty big at flyweight. He is coming off a UD loss to Steve Ursag. I thought he looked pretty good in that fight, actually. He lost, but he looked pretty good. Other side, Adiris, minus 170. He is 3 years younger, and he is coming off a UFC debut tough finale where he lost by choke to Joseph Morales. This one is back to me. I'm going to Adiris here. I really, really thought about going Ode Osborne. Ode Osborne is tough. He's a bat. He's not the greatest, but he's got some good wrestling and he's got that jab. He just a little Phil Rowe-esque, like we were saying. Like he could stay at range and just jab the hell out of Adiris, but Adiris kind of needs. He gets in close, and I think he can kind of get around the jab of Ode Osborne and get some takedowns in there. It's not. I don't think he's going to be like the greatest prospect here. Like he's a good striker, but he's not a phenomenal striker, and he's a okay grappler. He's not a great grappler. I think he's going to be good enough to beat Ode Osborne, but like I would pick Alden Correa against him. Are you with me?
I thought Alibi Adiris looked terrible in that Joseph Morales fight.
Oh yeah.
I don't get why they're giving him a second chance. Usually the tough finales, they do give about 2 contracts out most of the time if it's a good fight, but in a fight like that, I wouldn't have gave Adiris a second chance, to be honest. And Ode Osborne, he was right there with Steve Ursag, man, and Steve Ursag was right there with Pantoja. Come on, what are we doing? You're going Adiris? Ode with a 5-inch reach advantage. I gotta go Ode here. I have no faith in Adiris after what I saw against Joseph Morales. And Joseph Morales is a good fighter. He is a good grappler. But he didn't show me anything in that tough finale fight. His striking looked sloppy. His grappling looked sloppy. And Joseph Morales picked him apart and submitted him. And I think Ode Osborne, this dude's coming with a chip on his shoulder. He just went toe-to-toe with Steve Ursag to a decision. I don't think he's losing to the tough runner-up.
All right, interesting. This is our second disagreement here, so this is going to be interesting to see how we go head-to-head. I mean, I'm not going to spend much more time debating this fight with these two guys. Maybe we'll save that for the main or co-main if you have a spicy take or something. Next up, Chidi Njokuani versus Carlos Leal. Chidi, bang, bang, Njokuani, plus 160. You can be 6 years older at 37 years old, 4 inches taller, 6 inches of reach. Gotta see if he makes weight, though. He has missed weight at welterweight before. He's a big guy. Coming off a rear naked choke loss to Jake Matthews in July. Leal, the Lion, minus 185. He's going to be 6 years younger at 31. He is coming off a brutal knockout loss to Muslim Salikov at Was that China? No, that was the Whitaker de Ritter fight in Abu Dhabi. This one is still me. I'm going Njokuani here. Okay. I think the reach is big. Liao's going to come with that pressure, but I think Njokuani's done pretty well at fighting pressure fighters with boring clinch grappling. And I think that's going to happen again. I don't think Liao has the uh, he's a vet of all vets. Both of them are, but I don't think he has the get off the cage ability. I mean, he's been there with some great guys, but some guys like Sadu kind of clinched and pot shotted at him, and it wasn't an exciting fight either time. I think Njokuani can do the same thing here. Push him against the cage, some knees, some good old Kamaru Usman foot stomps, and I think Chidi gets I just call it 29-28 split decision over Carlos Leal. Jeannie, what do you see on this fight?
Listen, I'm with you on this one, to be honest. I'm also kind of feeling that there's been some suspicious line movement in this fight if you haven't seen.
Oh, actually, really? Let me check.
There has been. Carlos Leal started the week at a minus 185 favorite. Now on Bet Online, he only sits at minus 120.
Wow. Interesting.
So there's some suspicious line movement. A lot of money coming in on Chidi and Njokuani. A lot of people think he's going to win. Is that because of his reach advantage and height advantage? Or is it because Carlos Leal got knocked out last fight and people are picking up on the fact he only knocked out Alex Morono in the UFC? I don't know what it is. But someone knows something about this fight, and there's a lot of money going on Chidi and Njokuani, is all I know. And I think Chidi and Njokuani is the play anyways with his reach and his height. And he's got really good Muay Thai. And Carlos Leal, he didn't look gritty in his last fight at all. He got put out bad by Muslim Salikov. How is he going to come back after that? And even if his chin holds up, he could just lose a decision, like you said. But I think Chidi and Njokuani's finishing him in the first round by TKO.
Interesting. We'll see if this fight even happens. You saw with the Michael Johnson Alexander Hernandez fight how they are, just going to pull fights now if there's weird line movement or an injury. So keep your eye out. We're recording this on Sunday. Maybe they pull it. Next up, Jeannie's favorite fight on the card from last week: Zach Reese versus Michel Pereira. Savage Zach Reese plus 120. It's gonna be a year younger, 3 inch of height, 4 inch of reach. Last fought at a 195-pound catch weight because it was Jackson McVeigh came in on short notice. Or no, he came in on short notice for Robert Valentine against Jackson McVeigh. Weird UFC career, very weird. On the other side, Michel Pereira, Don Malador, 3-fight losing streak. He got knocked out by Hal Dawkins last time out. Jeannie, this one is you, and I'm excited to hear what you have to say.
So listen, I made a thumbnail for Michel Pereira when he went up against Anthony Hernandez, and I used I had Demolador plastered on that thumbnail, and I picked Anthony Hernandez to beat, or I picked Michel Pereira to beat Anthony Hernandez, and the dude has not won a fight since, and has looked very bad since I made that pick. Is he going to turn it around after he just lost to Kyle Dawkins? Which Kyle Dawkins was a short notice fight coming into the UFC there. That was short notice call. And Kyle Dawkins knocked him out in the first round, and Michel Pereira looked pretty bad. I think Zachary Reese is going to win this fight. And it's not just because I like Zachary Reese. I mean, it's kind of hard to pick Michel Pereira right now, to be honest with you. This dude, we know he doesn't have a gas tank. And now he's getting knocked out in the first round. He's got a 4-inch reach disadvantage here, a 3-inch height disadvantage here. Zachary Reese is a good boxer, good grappler. Still seems to be putting all the pieces together in some of these fights, but he looked good against Jackson McVeigh, was able to impose his will. He did take a few very brutal elbows in that fight. It was a brutal fight, back and forth, but he got it done. That's all that matters in the end. And Michel Pereira, I just can't see him beating this one. Like it could happen. He could knock out Zachary Reese in the first round. It's a total possibility, but I like the potential of Zachary Reese getting this done more. I'm gonna say second round TKO or submission for Zachary Reese.
Yeah, I'm with you. Michel Pereira, he got broken by Fluffy, in my opinion, and then he got knocked out in 60 seconds by Kyle Dawkins. That's bad. Kyle Dawkins is good, but he is not a knockout guy, especially like a quick knockout guy like that. Um,
He
did he
got
knock
laid out.
anybody? Did he knock anybody out in the UFC his first time? No, no. He has two knockouts. One is Michel Pereira, and one is 5-1 Keanan Petashuk, who's now 7-3 outside of the UFC. So Zachary Reese is a pick. Would I be surprised? Zachary Reese is kind of entering that Cody Brundage territory where something weird's going to happen. Would I be surprised if he charges at him, slips on the monster logo, and knocks himself out? No. But it should be a fun fight. Very, very exciting fight either way, I think. Next
Listen, a
up,
guy with a 10 and I'm sorry for cutting you off, but a guy with a 10-2 record should never be compared to Cody Brundage.
Cody Brundage beat
I
him.
Yeah, fair. I get.
Next up, Jacoby Smith and Josiah Harrell, welterweight. This is a short notice fight. Harrell got the call a few days ago, Friday, I want to say, so about a week and a half notice, maybe a week. Jacoby Smith, 3 years older than Josiah. He's going to have 3 inches of height, 5 inches of reach, 2-fight winning streak in the UFC, undefeated overall. He beat Nico Price, he choked him out last time out in June. Harrell making a short notice UFC debut, 2-0 in LFA, and he just beat a great guy there. Great fight in my opinion. And this is a guy that was supposed to debut short notice kind of JDM, but had that weird brain hemorrhage thing. You remember that? No? Well, that's Josiah Harrell. Both 11-0. So pretty good fight here. What do you think of the opponent choice and who are you picking to win here? No odds yet, I should mention. Let me check. Double check.
It's got to be Jacoby Smith. I was kind of leaning his way anyways in the Seok Young Ko fight. I'm kind of happy that fight didn't take place anyways. I mean, I don't like when they do a prospect fight when they're not really both established names yet. Like let them establish themselves first before you throw them to the wolves. But it would have been a good fight. But I think Jacoby Smith he's the pick here, but they're both 11-0. It's not out of the realm of possibility. We saw Malcolm Wellmaker lose to Ethan Ewing, right? So it's never, these guys coming in, they're hungry. You don't know, they have a lot less injuries because they're not throughout like a whole training camp. They might be tested a bit less, sometimes, we've seen that in the past too. We never really know what we get with these guys coming into the UFC, but I mean, I gotta go Jacoby Smith. He is a great grappler, good on the feet. He's kind of shown it all in the UFC so far, and I think he's going to be able to get it done over Josiah Harrell. I'm gonna say he submits him in the second or third round.
I would be pretty surprised if he submits him. I think this is a TKO. Jacoby Smith only 1 submission and 8 TKOs, despite being a NCAA wrestler. That's the reason he's a little older. He was a wrestler. I did find odds on this. Have you seen these odds yet? What do you think they are? Take a guess.
Jacoby Smith probably minus 350 at least.
Exactly. Minus 350 plus 285 for Josiah Harrell. Seems about right.
What a guess. What a guess.
About what I'd expect. Josiah Harrell is going to have a great UFC career. Just not in this fight. He's the cardio is like, if he's going to win, it's going to be out cardioing, surviving, and then, choking out Jacoby Smith in the third round or something. I don't think it's going to happen though. I got Jacoby Smith by, let's call it second round knock. Next up, Sergey Spivak. Did you have more? Sergey Spivak versus Ante Dulia, heavyweight. Polar Bear, Sergey Spivak, plus 145. He's going to be 4 years younger than Dulia. About the same height and reach. Last weigh-ins, about 15 pounds heavier than Dulia. He's on a two-fight losing streak. He lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta in June. Dulia on the other side, 1-1 in the UFC. He also last lost to Waldo Cortez Acosta, knockout in November. This one is back to me. Yeah, I'm going. This one was really tough for me because both of these guys kind of suck, in my opinion. Dulia maybe a little bit less, but Sergey, I mean, we know what's going to happen here. Sergey Spivak is going to come in, try to get takedowns. Dulia isn't like this crazy, crazy, what's the word, takedown defender. He's got some takedowns of his own, but his takedown defense in PFL wasn't phenomenal. It wasn't the best. And so I kind of think this is going to be a sloppy, fatty heavyweight fight, and it's going to go to a split decision. I got Ante Dulia, if only because he can do a little bit more damage, and I think maybe Sergey Spivak, it's been, what, 10 years in the UFC now? Something like that? No, 7 years. Close enough. Yeah, give me Ante Dulia. Jeannie, I would be shocked if you're confident either way here.
I mean, Ante Dalia was looking good against Waldo before the eye poke. I don't think Spivak looked good in that Waldo fight at any point. I think Ante Dalia is going to be able to finish Spivak, to be honest with you. I think the boxing is going to be too much. He's a pretty big guy. I mean, so Spivak might have some troubles getting him down, but it says he weighs more than Dalia on Topology here, so I'm not too sure there. But I think Dalia is going to be able to shrug off these takedown attempts, and he's going to inflict the damage on the feet and finish him in the first or second round, I'm thinking. He nearly knocked out Waldo in the first round before he eye poked him. He did have him like semi-hurt, I think. Kind of looked like it. And I think, yeah, I mean, that's kind of impressive to me. Waldo's kind of my guy right now at heavyweight.
Sure.
all right, like, yeah.
I don't know. I'm not the. I think Waldo losing to Sergey Pavlovich is not doesn't scream championship ready for me. But we'll have to see. He is Dominican. The more kids he has, once he got 6 already, the more he's got to fight to make some money for them. Next up, Dan Ige versus Melquizael Costa. Melky Costa, featherweight, 50K Ige. Do you remember what his nickname was before 50K?
No.
It was the Danimal. Dan Ige. Shout out Shannon. What's her name? It's the Shanimal is the other side too. Shannon.
Shannon Clark?
Is that Shannon Clark's? Anyway, whatever it is. Dan Ige can be 5 years older at 34. Same reach. He's going to be plus 170. 11-9 in the UFC. He lost by unanimous decision to Patricio Pitbull at UFC 318 in July. So he's been out for a little bit. Melky Costa on the other side, minus 220. He's going to have 3 inches of height, younger. He went on a crazy run last year, 5-fight winning streak, 4-0 last year. He knocked out Morgan Charrier with a head kick, round 1 in, was that December? Yep. This one is me as well. I'm going Melky here. I think this is going to be a pretty tough fight for him. Dan Ige is very good. I think he's a BJJ black belt at this point. Crazy power as we've seen. I think it would behoove Melky to get this to the ground and fast. That being said, Dan Ige did give up 5 takedowns to Pitbull, 3 to Lerone Murphy. I think Melky can be knocked out. We saw him get knocked out against Steve Garcia, but I think he can get the takedowns here, play safe enough on the feet. He's got a little bit of power, and I kind of like him. I don't think he's going for a title, but I think he can do some fun things in the top 15. Maybe I think he could headline an Apex event next. So yeah, I'm picking Melky Costa here. What about you?
Man, I'm picking
Tough
Melky
one, isn't it?
Costa too. Costa's been my guy. We've been through thick and thin together, man. I'm never going against this guy. Never going against this guy. But I was so close. I kind of wanted to pick Melky by a finish, but Dan Ige, this guy doesn't get finished. If you go and check out his career, this dude doesn't get finished. He's never been finished. All 10 of his fights are all 10 of his losses, sorry, are all decision losses. And I think Costa's going to be able to exploit him on the ground. His grappling's incredible. On the feet, he's a pretty good boxer on the feet, kind of underrated. But I think his grappling is where he really shines. And if he wants to win this one, he's going to get it on the ground. He doesn't really want to keep it on the feet with Dan Ige. Kind of playing with fire there. I think Costa has been hurt before. I just think Costa's going to be able to exploit him on the ground, grapple him, get enough control time, and ground and pound off to win a decision over Dan Ige.
I agree there. Co-main event: Jeff Neal versus Uros Medic. Hands of Steel Neal minus 185. He is 3 years older, and he's gonna have 4 inches of reach. Medic, the doctor, is plus 160, 2 inches taller. He's gonna be 3 years younger. Neal is on a one fight losing streak. Excuse me. Got knocked out by Carlos Praches in August. Uros Medic is on a 2 fight winning streak. He knocked out Muslim Salikov in November. This one's back to you, Genie. Kind of a weird choice for co-main event. I could have picked 2 other fights at least that I would have picked for co-main over this, but you know, what are you gonna do? So, who's your pick for the co-main event?
Um, Jeff Neal. He was back and forth with Carlos Prates in that fight. I think he actually might have been up on numbers by the time he got knocked out right at the buzzer.
Numbers.
Um,
Yeah.
I think he was, or no, he was down on numbers. Yeah, no, he was down on numbers. I'm thinking of the Trevin Giles fight. Trevin Giles was up on
Yeah.
numbers
Okay.
against Carlos Prates.
Yeah.
But Uros Medic did look good against Muslim Salikov. I thought Muslim was going to get that done too. Salikov has looked really good recently. Talking about a title shot at 40 years old when he's winning these fights, and then comes out and he gets knocked out in the first round by Uros Medic. Like, I can't trust this guy. He beat Gilbert Urbina too. I think Uros Medic is going to be able to put out Jeff Neal. I don't rate Jeff Neal's chin anymore. I think if he takes a hard shot, he's going to get put out. But he could make this a scrappy fight. I just don't really see how he's gonna set himself apart from Uros Medic. He can make this a close fight, I think, but I don't think he can win this fight. I think we're looking at a Uros Medic first or second round TKO.
Yeah. The only way I think Jeff Neal wins this, I mean, he could win on the feet. He's very good, but I think if he has any takedown chops, he should try to take down Medic and submit him. Medic hasn't been the greatest on the ground at all. That's how he's gotten most of his losses. And I think that I don't know. I just think Neal is in kind of a weird space in his career. Lost 3 out of 4, and the only win was a leg injury against RDA. What are you going to do with that? Yeah, so I just don't think he's in the right, he hasn't beaten anybody good since Mike Perry, UFC 245. Uros Medic would be his best win. Maybe, depends how you count some of the fighters, where they were at. But I'm going Medic here, underdog pick for both of us. I might have to make him the sparring sessions underdog of the week. Maybe. We'll have to see about the main event. Speaking of which, main event, Sean Strickland versus Anthony Hernandez. Sean Tarzan Strickland is plus 210. He's going to be 2 years older, have an inch of height and an inch of reach. He is on he just lost last February, so over a year out against DDP. Unanimous decision 50-45, if I remember correctly. Fluffy on the other side is on a 8-fight winning streak. Beat Roman Dolidze, choked him out in main event in August. So, Jeannie, you get to close us out here. I want to hear who you think wins and if you think they get a title shot or if they are going to have to fight again.
Fluffy Hernandez, man, coming off of a win over Roman Dolidze. Is that his best win on paper? Is the Brendan
No,
Allen one the best one
I
on
think Brennan
paper?
Allen's better. I think even you could even convince me that the Roman Kopylov win is better.
Do you see Kopylov being able to take down Strickland and control him at will?
Kopylov or Hernandez?
Hernandez. Did I
You
say
said
Kopylov?
Kopylov. Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
Take down and control him at will. Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, I don't. Strickland's got
Wow,
good
really?
takedown defense, man. 72% takedown defense. DDP wasn't even doing that to him. You know, he was getting up when DDP took him down a few times. He was keeping on the feet mostly. Oh, I might regret this, man. I want to get a main event right so bad. I
Wow.
have not got a main event right all year. All year I haven't got a main event right. I just want to get one. I'm going Sean Strickland. I might have got swayed by my boy RJ, but listen, Strickland on the feet, this is no competition. I think Strickland, his jabs, I think he's going to do way better than Anthony Hernandez on the feet. We've seen Hernandez's boxing be kind of iffy at moments. He needs these takedowns. He relies on these takedowns. He's got a weak body. We've seen it in the past. Hernandez or Michel Pereira hurt him before he gassed out. He got hurt by Kevin Holland really early on. We've seen Hernandez hurt before. It's been a long time. I will give you that. He's on a wicked tear. But everyone's pointing to Hernandez. Everyone thinks he's getting the next title shot. Everyone thinks this guy's it. I'm not entirely convinced. His striking has not been incredible at moments, and I think Strickland's striking is going to be way better. He's gonna his game's gonna work incredible. The teeps, the jabs, it's gonna work wonders this time. The takedown defense is gonna work out, and Strickland's gonna walk his way to a 49, 46, 48, 47 decision win.
Let me ask you one question. Is Anthony Hernandez the best grappler that Sean Strickland has faced? And they past 10 fights. Let's go.
I don't think so.
No? Who's better?
I think DDP and Imavov has underrated grappling too.
Do you think Imavov's a better grappler than Hernandez?
Maybe not better, but close. I think DDP could be a better grappler.
DDP took the first fight. He didn't really try the second fight because he was winning on the feet so bad, but he went 6 of 11. And DDP is not, he's a takedown guy. He is not a control guy on the ground. I mean, you remember a fight where he just pulled full mount randomly? I think Hernandez is by far the best grappler that Sean Strickland has fought, and I don't think he's going to do well. I think he might win like 2 rounds, but then Fluffy's just going to drown him. Sean has good cardio, pretty good cardio, but like he kind of gassed out a little bit against DDP one of the times, either first or the second. He lost the 5th round to both Costa and DDP both times, or all three, all three fights that two of them had. And just, I don't know. Nothing about Sean Strickland has ever struck me as this guy is good. He has an A+ talent. He's like B in everything, maybe B+, And I think Anthony Fluffy Hernandez has A+ skill. I think he's going to use that to get a 49-46 over Anthony Hernandez, over Sean Strickland, maybe even a finish, And I think he's going to walk his way into a title shot. Khamzat doesn't want to fight Imavov for some reason, which I don't know. That's so weird. Before I let you go, Jeannie, anything else you want to mention about this fight night? We got one more segment, looking at UFC Mexico. Anything else any other thoughts?
So we both have 49-46 in the main event, but we're on
We do.
opposite sides.
We
What a
do.
pick there. I could see Strickland finishing Hernandez too by like a late TKO. It could be a fourth or fifth round TKO.
Interesting.
Man, I just want to get a main event right. I don't want to go 0 for 4 in main events to start the year, but it could definitely go that way, the way I'm picking.
Yeah. I
But I think there's a reason to pick Strickland here. I think there is.
I think you're going to go 0 for 4. And
We'll see.
I agreed with two of your other picks. I'm going to agree with the Volk one. I'm a big Diego Lopez guy. Speaking of main events, though, I think this is one you could get right. UFC Mexico next week, around 2 weeks for us here, February 28th, Mexico City, Mexico. Main event, really, really weird one. Loner Kavanaugh stepping on short notice against Brandon Moreno. Really weird. Um, Outside of the main event, we'll talk about the main event. Give me your favorite fight from this UFC Mexico fight card, Jeannie.
All right, I'm just scrolling through it here. There's a couple good ones.
I'm probably going to go with the low hanging fruit here, and I'm going to go. Um, yeah, there's nothing on here that's like really screaming that it's better than this. I'm going to go the co-main event. Marlon Chito Vera versus David Martinez. I've been not a fan of Cheeto for a long time, and I think Dave Martinez is going to put him out, and pretty badly, I think. I hope, at least. Either way, I think it's going to be a great fight. Both guys are. No, that's not true. Cheeto's not exciting at all. David Martinez, very exciting guy, good prospect. I think he's going to get a nice top 50. Well, he's already top 15, top 10 spot. And maybe your tardiness stole the only other good fight on the card from you, Jeannie. Let's hear your favorite fight. You can
My
go with that
favorite
one if you
fight.
want.
No. I think I got a good one here. My favorite fight's the first fight on the main card here. We're looking at Imanol Rodriguez versus Kevin Borjas. I think this is a killer striking matchup. Imanol looked incredible on Contender Series against Roque Conceição, and Kevin Borjas, this dude, like some of the fights are underwhelming, but he's mostly a good boxer, keeps it close on the feet, and I think there's going to be a pretty close fight, good back and forth brawl. That's my favorite fight on the whole card.
I
Watch out for
agree with
Imanol
you there.
Rodriguez. Imanol he's gonna be a prospect. I'm calling it.
Yeah, he's training with DC. He is at DC's Fight Academy, and then so I think that's going to be pretty good. And yeah, that's next week. We'll be back, or some combination of us will be back. Jeannie, thanks so much for coming on. Thank you for watching, for listening. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that. As Jeannie shadowboxes his way out, we'll see you next week. Adios.